South Africans are xenophobic people. South Africans are not friendly enough to other African countries. South Africans hate other black Africans. South African this, South African that. Each and every day we keep hearing complaints about South Africans hating other people.
The problem we have in Nigeria is not just with the government, it's also with the rich people of Nigeria. And when I walked in, I'm looking at their employees. Motherfuckers are working in underwear at the factory. You just in my head. So you're telling me that if you pay these people beyond minimum wage, even if it's just 100, like it will be too much.
Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Uncle P with another episode of Uncle P's podcast. Guys, two truths can exist at the same time. And I'm beginning to realize every day that being right can sometimes get your head to become a little bag. Happy Easter, happy holidays to everybody, guys. Unfortunately, I am going through, So some neighbor here is building a boundary wall. They decided to dig and they dug too deep and decided to cut the fiber line. So I've got the internet is off. The kids are home. So if there's no CoComelon, you guys know. But I've pleaded to them to be a bit quiet so that they can record. So I want to give you guys this show. You know, I say two truths can exist at the same time. And every day, South Africa, South Africans, and myself are being proven correct on this channel. And every time I gotta bring good news, it brings me joy. But with every good news, there's bad news, and then there's truth. So, let's entertain today's show and see what we got cooking. Because when I say, people don't believe. So let other people speak on my behalf.
South Africans are xenophobic people. South Africans are not friendly enough to other African countries. South Africans hate other black Africans. South African this, South African that. Each and every day we keep hearing complaints about South Africans hating other people. But South Africa has been named the friendliest country in 2025. Guys, yo.
The chest pains. You can't make this shit up, guys. You know what, man? You know what I say to my channel? People say, oh, you kissing South Africa's ass. Please rest. Blah, blah. Guys, listen. The truth will always remain the truth. I live in South Africa. I've been in this country since 1997. We know the truth. Our problem is giving South Africa the credit they deserve. We are haters. You know, we are haters because a lot of foreigners who have lived in South Africa, whether good or bad, whether legal or illegal, 9 out of 10 times you have experienced a good South African. You have experienced a hardworking South African. And especially if you have met a single mother South African. You have experienced a powerful woman. If you have met a present dead South African, you have met true love. Like South African homes have that fantasy love, that love we used to see in movies. You know, they've got this unity. They go to each other's families. They go to events. Like, you know, they've got this togetherness. But the problem is their country is also nice. And then they also live with their colonizers nice. Then they've got Indians, then they've got colors, then they've got, and everyone is nice. In our countries, we don't have these dynamics. We don't. But let's continue to listen because this is something that people needed to hear for themselves. I'm not the one who voted. I didn't even know there was such a thing happening there. So
this is definitely shutting down each and every person who had every negative thing to say about South Africa. I mean, even the South African government had to post this in excitement because we always keep insulting and dragging South Africa. We like, these people are not, they don't know how to welcome other people. Oh, this, oh, that. Let's hear what the South African government had to post on their page. Good morning, South Africa. Did you know South Africa has officially been named the friendliest country in the world? Out of 27 nations ranked for agreeableness by Remitly, SA took the top spot. And honestly, we are not surprised. From Ubuntu to everyday kindness, South Africans are just like that. I'm sure some people are choking right now. Like all these people who always speak bad about South Africa,
We obviously know who he's talking about. And guys, this is some truth that I keep saying to people. South Africa is it's a silent giant. And most giants are very silent. When you know the ability that you have and the capability that you have, when you understand your strengths, you don't need to make a lot of noise. Real wealth is very silent. It raises a family and leaves generational wealth without any noise. These ones here that are making noises here is because they know eventually that wealth will go, eventually will catch them. That's why they make the noises they are. But you know what? Like I said, there's always two truths. There's one truth and then there's another truth. The other truth may be harder to swallow, but that truth needs to be spoken. That truth needs to be heard. Because this is what I keep saying, that little voice, that that Kangani voice, sometimes is way louder than necessary. And this is the reason why this channel keeps exposing that voice. What am I talking? Hey, brother, Uncle P, it's Easter. You just couldn't leave it with the first video. Just leave your people there. But you just have to come here.
The problem we have in Nigeria is not just with the government. It's also with the rich people of Nigeria. What do I mean by that? Simple as this. The people who own businesses in Nigeria, or the wealthy people in Nigeria, have no respect, or they don't even see Nigerian people as like real people. They have no concept of human decency.
Before she gives an example, they have no concept of human decency, and I think we've all seen it. Once a Nigerian has money, they don't respect anyone. You see the way they treat Amajolofinas, the way they behave because they have money. They feel like they can do whatever they want. They can be as loud as they want because they can bribe officers. They can get out of any problem. And this is what I keep telling people. There are certain nations, because of the level of poverty in their nation, once they take, guys, you need to understand, your taste buds, it is the way it is because of your bank account. Once your bank account now they increase, caviar and all these things that you are like, hey, rich people, you start eating it with flavor because somehow your bank account, but there are those of us that are not shaken by our bank accounts. Our humanity is not determined by our wealth or by the amount of money we make, like the Nigerians. But let's continue to listen, because when I say Uncle P is talking too much, it's Easter, so we are happy, apparently.
Let me give you an example. I went to my ex-husband's family's factory. They're a wealthy family, very, very wealthy family. They own like 5 factories in Nigeria. And when I walked in, I'm looking at their employees. Motherfuckers are working in underwear at the factory. You can tell that some people live at the factory. It was just so fucking vagabond. And when I brought it up and asked about it, they told me, oh no, you can't pay them too well. If you pay them too well, they'll leave.
You can't pay them too well. If you pay them too well, they'll leave. Guys, doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't it sound like when you pay South Africans well, they don't come back to work for a couple of days, they go drinking? Recently, I was talking to a friend and he said the very same statement. He said, no, South Africans are lazy. It was a South African, I was talking to him. He's a trolley pusher at Checkers. He says, these friends of mine in Tembisa, when you get them a job, as soon as they work, they get their salary, hey, they go, they drink, they don't want to come back to work. And I say to him, the problem is not that they don't want to come back to work. When you work for less than minimum wage, and when you get that salary and you think of the sacrifice, the rain, the transportation you spent, the money you had to borrow from people, clothes you had to borrow to wear, and then you're looking at that mere 3,000, 3.5 for 30 days plus of work, hours and hours. You can't even pay your rent, you can't pay your kids' school fees, you're looking at that useless money. The only thing you can do is just dwell into your depression and go drinking. And that's one thing that people don't understand. They criticize South Africa for it, but in their own countries, the same thing is happening. They are working in their underwears because they can't even afford clothes to come to work with clothes. People know these things, but when it comes to South Africans, they criticize South Africans. But in their own nations, it's happening. Guys, I'm so popular in my area. Today is Monday. They come and pick up our rubbish. So the rubbish guys were screaming, "My king, my king." I had to tell them, guys, I'm recording. Well, guys, let's continue to listen.
Like the excuse that I was giving, and it gets worse. So then I'm looking at like the fact that his father went and copped a brand new 2024 Range Rover, like all the cars they have, they're like, and I'm just in my head. So you're telling me that if you pay these people beyond minimum wage, even if it's just 100, like it will be too much. The fact that business owners in Nigeria do not pay their employees enough for them to be fucking current.
The fact that businessmen in Nigeria do not pay their people enough, their employees enough to be current. I don't want to use the F word. F and current, that means modern. That means to be able to afford a basic modern standard of living. And that's the same mentality they bring here in South Africa. The Mulungus, the foreigners, the same mentality they bring here. And that's why you see even foreign workers are willing to accept these minimum wages. And then South Africa is crucified for knowing their rights, for having a country where democracy actually works, where their voices are actually heard. They are called lazy for screaming and shouting, for choosing to rather strike than to accept bullshit, for choosing to rather sit at home than to accept bullshit. Because in our countries we accepted this bullshit. Born in Nigeria, born in Angola, born in Congo. Look at all these countries. Look at what Burkina Faso is doing for itself today. Guys, sometimes we need to be truthful to ourselves and truthful to the realities of our countries. And stop crucifying people for doing better and knowing better. Let's continue to listen.
Nigeria blows my mind. Like, do you know that if you pay people better, the economy will grow because people will spend money, people will invest money, people will become entrepreneurs, more businesses, more. It's not just bad government. We have bad business owners, bad wealthy people. If you own a company in Nigeria and you want to go buy a fucking Rolls Royce and you know that your employees can't afford their rent, to eat, to bathe, to use phone, you are fucking horrible. And I hope that fucking car you crash with you in it. You are fucking stupid. So when you talk about bad governance, also hold accountable to all the rich motherfuckers that go through Nigeria and don't do anything to help the country. Fuck you guys.
Just to let you know, she mentioned 2024. That means she recently divorced. That's why she's now willing to come out and speak against her ex-husband's company. Guys, don't only speak the truth when it benefits you or when it's going to make you trend. The truth must be spoken all the time. Guys, the reality is the reality and we need to accept it. People are making people suffer on purpose and the rich needs to start to paying for this. If you're paying attention, guys, I don't really talk about it because you guys don't watch these videos. It's a lot of work to make these videos, guys. It's a lot of work. Doing the research, editing, posting it and everything, it's a lot of work. It takes anything between 4 to 6, sometimes 8 hours. So to make a video about what's happening in America right now and how it benefits Africa or how it will hurt us, to go back talking about Kwekwe, which is a very serious situation right now that we should not be ignoring, but yet, you know, people don't barely pay attention to these videos. Guys, you gotta understand, it's not all about trending. This thing takes the whole day to create. So your support, subscribing to the channel, contributing to the channel, sharing the video. Guys, a lot of you watch the videos but don't subscribe. A lot of you are not watching the adverts because you want to quickly watch the video. That helps. You have to watch the adverts. You have to. It helps the channel. I love doing this. I love coming to you guys with information. But if I have to handle work plus this, then we have to pick certain topics that obviously entices you guys to watch longer. This video is what, probably 15 minutes long. I hope that you guys have watched until this stage. I'm your boy Uncle P and I love you guys. South Africa, congratulations! because the world knows that you are the friendliest country in the world. I've said it. I don't need to say it because now clearly the world knows, and they know too. Nigeria, we have a lot to talk about. Let's fix this. Let's fix your country. Let's behave correctly. Let's be correctly. I'm your boy Uncle P. I shall see you guys on the next one. Cheers.